What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome on in. It's 1TS Daily live right here at One True Sport. How's it going? I'm Zack Heydorn. I am your host. I'm on the road. The background here, the city of Chicago, uh, on election day here in the United States. So thank you for being here on this busy day. That's, will likely be stressful, I'm sure, for everybody. It's a stressful day. It's been a contentious election. Vote, people. Get out there and vote. Use that power, and fulfill your civic responsibility. I think there's a right way to go here. That color is is blue, but the real game is to get out there and vote. There you go. There you have it. Wanted to get that out of the way at the top of the show. So, this is 1TS Daily live. We are here every single Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday with this show. And this show is designed to chat with you guys about professional wrestling and give you guys an update, a quick hit on the state of the state, if you will, in professional wrestling. So we talk a lot about specific shows here. We review shows, we preview shows. We also just talk the news of the day and news nuggets, important news, different beats to that hit for WWE and AEW and everything in between. We're live right here on the One True Sport YouTube channel every single day, 11 a.m. Eastern. Don't miss it. Make it part of your wrestling fix. Make it part of your wrestling day. Cool. Hit subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And if you're watching on YouTube, first of all, hello, and hit like if you can. It certainly would help us out big time if you guys did that. Always helps with the old algorithm. If those likes come in. So hopefully you like what you're hearing, and hopefully you can hit like. If you're watching on Twitter, hello. Thanks so much for being here. We stream live both places. We're on Twitter, we're on YouTube. We want to make this as accessible to you guys as we can. And we spend anywhere between 20 and 30 minutes just running down the day in pro wrestling and getting you ready for what's to come. A bit of a weird show today. Normally, this show is stocked with, a review of Raw and a preview of NXT, but with the election being tonight, NXT is tomorrow, head to head with Dynamite. So we'll have an even bigger kind of preview show tomorrow right here on 1TS Daily to talk both Dynamite and NXT. They're going head to head. Should be a fun battle. NXT is running the ECW arena, so they're certainly going to pull out all the stops. And AEW, is not going to want to lose to NXT again. So fun show tomorrow. Today we'll spend most of the time talking Raw and then talking about a couple news tidbits that I want to get to, and as well as your questions and your comments. So if you're watching live and you want to make a comment or ask a question or have us go down a different path and talk about something entirely different, do that. Drop it in the live chat. I do have the live chat open and ready to go, ready to waiting for your comments. So jump on in there. And if you want to ask a specific question, do it. If you want to make a comment about what I'm talking about, do it. And I'll get to as many as I can. If you want to make sure that I get to your question or your comment, leave us a super chat. That's the easiest way to do that. It bounces right up to the top of my list here, and we'll get to all super chats today on the show. Every contribution amount helps, guys. It's so cool when you guys are able to do that, and I appreciate it, and I thank you in advance for it. So thank you. It's always the best when we have got questions and comments to work with on this year's show. So there we go. Live chat, super chat's open as of right now. We got some people filing in, so it should be fun. All right, let's talk about last night's episode of Monday Night Raw. A bit of a weird episode because it was pre-taped, so if you wanted the spoilers, you could get them. But they had a pretty big kind of night as far as like challengers for their championships go, right? Like I think you go into a pre-tape show like this and you're like, oh man, like, okay, they're going to kind of phone it in. It's Monday night. They got football. People already know what happened. And I think that like this was a pretty like worthwhile show from a news perspective to get in there. We have a new number one contender for the women's world championship. We got a new number one contender for the men's world championship. We had a major segment involving Sami Zayn and Jey Uso and Jimmy Uso. So I thought it was a show that delivered, in numerous ways. In ring too, Dragon Lee versus Chad Gable was a really good match. So a lot to get to and a good night at the office for WWE for the most part. I mean, there's one glaring thing on the show last night that I was like rolling my eyes at for the majority of it, but we'll get to that in a minute. Let's start with the bloodline, and let's start with Sami Zayn, Jey Uso, and Jimmy Uso. So Sami Zayn comes out to kind of first talk and address everything that happened at Crown Jewel, and he's quickly not interrupted, but joined by Jey Uso. And then Jimmy Uso comes out there. So it quickly, gets to kind of this three-way conversation with Jimmy, Jey, and Sami. And the essence is Jey wants to know whether or not Sami meant to hit Roman. Sami says, of course not. Jimmy Uso comes out and says, how could you fall for this? Of course he meant to. And then we saw like what I think was a key plot point and key character development from Sami Zayn. Like, Sami Zayn just took a step back and was like, hey, look, I'm not taking this. I'm not doing this again. I'm not going around in circles again. I'm not proving myself to you again. Believe me or don't, but I'm out. I'm not dealing with this drama and this BS. And from Sami Zayn's perspective, I thought that was just a great thing to happen for his character. For so long, Zayn has been like kind of defined as like not a lackey, but kind of like a little brother trying to join Big Brother, at whatever Big Brother's doing. Like that was Sami. And since he left the bloodline, I mean, he's had an Intercontinental Championship run, he's had a tag team championship run, he's beat the bloodline. Like he's done so much on his own where you want to see him kind of interact differently with those guys and not be subservient to them again and not like let them doubt him or walk all over him. Like you wanted to see him kind of stand up for himself a bit. And I thought the way he did that here was appropriate, not only for the situation, given the fact that we all know he is going to join up with them. It does here, but also just it's progression for the Sami Zayn character that you saw that unfold, and it wasn't aggressive. It wasn't, some kind of brawl that they did or anything to that nature. It was just Sami, being straight up, being honest, being straightforward, and getting to that point with these guys that he has so much history with. So I love that part of this. I thought that part of it was very compelling. Of course, you've got Jimmy Uso that's kind of like not fully on board, but Jey, saying, hey, I was wrong and you are part of the family. I think that shows growth on his part too, as a character, as far as like, where all these guys are. And that's the key to the storyline, right? The key to them coming back is that they're all in different positions than when they were first in the bloodline together. And you don't want to lose sight of that. You want that to still be prominent. And so Jey showed progress, Sami showed progress, even Jimmy, doubting Jey, doubting Sami, but getting there faster with it showed progress. The final bit of progress will obviously come on SmackDown when Roman is introduced into the mix. And he'll, be able to show some character progress as well because of how they set this angle up. So I thought it was a home run segment. I thought it really delivered, and I thought the writing was good. I thought the execution was even better. And, the babyface side of this bloodline versus bloodline story is going well. It's the heel side that's concerning, not the babyface side. And so they've got to get that heel side rocking. But for babyfaces, thumbs up. Andrew H is in the chat and goes, "Where's the wise man?" And Paul Heyman. Well, Andrew, I think you're going to get your answer really soon, because the way I look at this is, everybody's like back. Sammy's back. Jay's back. Jimmy's okay with things. Roman's kind of okay with things, but it's there's a tepidness there, right? And to me, Andrew, the wise man comes in and kind of harmonizes everybody together. Like, he's the guy, he's the glue that kind of like puts the group back together officially. So he's coming back soon. It may not be Friday. I mean, it may be Friday. They may drag that out, a little bit longer, but within the next 2 weeks, I think he's going to be back, and I think you're gonna, you're gonna see like the Paul Heyman character really reveal itself in terms of being effective within the bloodline. And I think that's going to be a really fun reunion. Not only for Roman Reigns when he gets back with Sami, but really when Paul Heyman gets back in the midst of everything. Andrew also says here, Heyman is the ultimate diplomat, like Kissinger. Yes, he really is. I mean, he is. And that's, he's the wise man. So, I mean, he should be, somebody that the bloodline trusts, that Roman Reigns trusts. And I think that's going to be his role. I think that's going to be his role to play here, in the not too distant future. But thumbs up Angle, as far as I'm concerned. This was a big one. They had to hit a home run. I think they did, and now they're set up nicely for SmackDown. Okay, Io Sky won a women's battle royal to become the number one contender for the WWE Women's World Championship that's currently held by Liv Morgan. I like the battle royal. Like, what do you guys think of Io Sky? Let me see in the comments here your thoughts. Thumbs up, thumbs down. It can be as easy as that. I think Io Sky's a fine fine challenger. Like, this to me is a holdover feud for Liv Morgan. I don't think that Andrew H here says great choice. Yeah, me too. I think it's a good choice. Like, I don't think that this is like a sign that we're going with Io Sky here, right? She seems to me that she's a upper mid card baby face that Liv Morgan can beat, and that's okay. That's okay. I think she's gonna beat, Io Sky is a hot enough babyface where I think where fans care about her chasing the title, but she's not as over as a babyface where, there's a problem beating her. This is somebody that Liv Morgan can beat. Another notch on her belt as champion, as Rhea Ripley hopefully looms sooner than later. She's out with an injury, a broken orbital bone, but hopefully she'll be back soon. This is the fine holdover feud. And so if this happens on Raw, I think that works. If it happens on the pay-per-view, it's not great. It's not a great pay-per-view match, but it's okay. To me, this is a Raw TV main event. Like, I think that's what you're building to here. And on the men's side of things, we'll get into that in a little bit, but I think very similar there. The match itself, I thought was pretty well done. There was some drama in there. I liked that they took this moment to plant seeds for an eventual Bianca Belair Jade Cargill match, right? Like, you got to start painting that picture, and they did. Like, I liked how Liv Morgan was kind of needling both of them, and saying they both can't be the best. I liked how they had their moment in the ring where you thought maybe they're going to throw down. I like just the presence of both of them to kind of emphasize their alpha nature, and tell the other, yeah, we're a team, but I'm also in this to be the best too, and I think I am the best. And so I thought they played that all really well. When it comes time to reignite that feud, this will be an important chapter in kind of getting, it's like the kindling almost for a fire. Like, that's what this was. And I thought it was well done, well acted by both women. Real quick, Lyra Valkyria, wow, took just a vicious bump on the apron. Like, man, like she landed like on her neck. And it seems like she's okay, but boy, that was brutal. that was a brutal German suplex. And German suplex was like the move of the day, move of the night. I mean, they had him in that match. They had a ton of them in the Dragon Lee Chad Gable match, like lots. So there you go, the move of the day last night on Raw, German suplex. But yeah, hopefully Lyra is okay. That was a vicious. And then in the main event, you had Damian Priest beat Dominic Mysterio, Sheamus, and Seth Rollins to become the number one contender for the World Championship, and Gunther. You can't talk about this match without talking about Bronson Reed. Bronson Reed interferes. There's no DQ for whatever reason in fatal four-way matches, and Bronson Reed takes out Seth. He takes out Priest. He takes out Sheamus. So the only the only person he didn't take out was Dominic Mysterio. So he went after all the baby faces. This worked for me. I think you want to have clean finishes in your matches, especially the big ones that you put a lot of promotion behind. But Bronson needed this moment. I think I thought there was an argument to go with Seth Rollins here because he'd beaten Bronson Reed. Why would he go back to it? I thought this was a good moment to kind of go with him and Gunther for a match. They're not going that way. And Bronson Reed and Seth, as I kind of predicted, would have another match. But Bronson Reed, as this unstoppable force, is getting over. Well, for one, because he's got the tsunami finisher, and that's just such a damn impressive finisher that it's easy to get it over because it's so fun to look at. The thing with him, though, that I think is really working is that there's a balance that's being written with his character and being played by him where, yes, he's this monster, but he's not a monster. He's more calculated than that. There's nuance. There's depth. It's not just like Braun Strowman monster going to destroy some stuff and then that's that. There's more to him than that. And I think ultimately that really helps and raises his ceiling up on a Raw show that's going to need, top tier guys to work with baby faces who aren't working with Gunther. So you look at a Damian Priest who won this match, but who I don't think is going to beat Gunther for the world title, of course. Bronson Reed is a feud that they could go with there. Seth Rollins is already there. He's somebody that I think elevated his stock by finding, a nuanced place for his character, in that it's monstrous. He's destructive. He's all of those things, but he's just more than that. And to me, that's nuance. That's what you want in your characters. You want layers. And Bronson Reed has that, even though he's kind of this destructive guy on the surface. There's bigger stuff going on. There's bigger stuff happening. So I like this. And Priest, the thing with Priest is I don't think he's going to win the championship here. I mean, I think it's safe to say that that's not going to happen. But I do give props to WWE for kind of finishing his story in a way. He's not going to win the title, but he didn't get a rematch. He hasn't really. He's been chasing down an opportunity at the championship since he lost it to Gunther at SummerSlam. So this is a good way to pay that off, and he's not going to win, and that's okay. You don't always win, but they did pay it off, and they did pay off that chase. And now after this, he can truly move on to something else because he won't technically be in title contention anymore, at least for a while. So I like that. Now, what did I not like on this show? Well, one thing in particular, and I'm going to rant about it. If you guys want to rant with me or you want to push back on my rant, use those comments because I'm sure not everybody's going to agree with me on this. Here we go. What, we're abducting the Miz now? I mean, poor Miz, right? The Wyatt Six abducting the Miz was one of the silliest, goofiest things that I've seen on Raw in quite some time. Look, I truly believe this. There is a place for the Wyatt Six type stuff on weekly pro wrestling television. That's a fact. And that's true now. It was true with Bray Wyatt. However, you got to have like properly defined characters to do an angle like this. And look, The Miz just isn't one. He, he's not he's not over enough as a heel for a babyface faction to abduct him and have the audience be like, go Wyatt 6. Let's cheer you guys on as you torture this poor Miz character. I mean, it just, he's not there yet. Like, you watched the segment last night and you're like, oh man, poor Miz. There's sympathy there. It's like, what did this guy ever really do? And so they missed on that. Like, you got to tell a better story with Miz. You have to have somebody that's more hated, or better yet, don't do an abduction angle. Don't, just don't. Nobody really buys that Miz is abducted by these guys. Like, it's just kind of minor league. And I wish WWE would step up their game with this. Again, I think that you can have the Wyatt 6 on your show, but this way, like, what they did came across more comedic than anything else. And that's not what they're going for with the Wyatt 6 stuff. But seeing the way Miz sold it and just kind of acted all out, it just didn't work. It just didn't work. So I thought this was a bad miss. And if I'm WWE, I'm rethinking, who we're putting the Wyatt 6 against. You can't have them be comedy guys. And that's essentially what Miz is, with how he handles stuff with R-Truth and how he carries himself. Like, he's not anything more than that. So, yeah, they got a bit of a problem here. I'm interested to see what happens, but it's not great. Okay, rant over. Buddy here says, I thought that was Jamie Kennedy. Are you saying you thought Miz was Jamie Kennedy or me? Either way, I want to know. But thanks for listening, buddy. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it. Andrew H. jumps in and says, look, The Undertaker abducted Stephanie, and that was ratings. Okay, but there's a difference. And I know you're kind of half kidding, but there is a difference here. Stephanie was a major babyface at that time. Tons of sympathy at that time. Audiences reacted for her. Undertaker, super heel at that time. And the end of this story was shown to you. It was, we're not supposed to think that Stephanie spent a week with the ministry people and the Undertaker, because Steve Austin came out there right away and saved the day. Like, that's the tone here that's missing. That's the storyline point that's missing. So I get it. I definitely get it. But I think there is differences here, and I think the differences are pretty stark. So thanks, Andrew. Appreciate you, man, and thanks, buddy, too. Okay, so that's Raw. That's Monday Night Raw. Big show. Friday night we'll have another reunion with Seth Rollins, with the Bloodline. Roman Reigns this time in the mix. And what will he have to say to old Sami Zayn? What will he say to old Sami Zayn? We'll find out soon. Okay, in the news, Ava will be making a major announcement tomorrow on NXT. We don't know what that announcement is, obviously. It's certainly a hook to get people to watch the show, to figure out what it is. What do you guys think it is? I have my thoughts. I wonder if there's a War Games match planned for NXT that they want to get cooking. Time is right from a season perspective and seasonality perspective, so it could be that we see that. That's my guess. What's your guess? Drop it in the comments, and we'll talk those through. AEW today is offering a special discount on select tickets. Check that out. If AEW is coming to your market, there are select tickets available for 40% off that you can buy today. Just use the promo code VOTE, because it is election day in the United States. If you're in the United States, get out and vote. Your civic duty. Vote, vote, vote. And hey, and pick up some AEW tickets while you're at it. So you can knock that out. You can knock that out right now. Theory agrees with me here and says people say it's a War Games match. It sounds right to me. I mean, I think that you can make that work in NXT, especially with kind of the warring factions that you have with Julia, Roxanne Perez, Cora Jade, Stephanie Vicur, and there's a lot of women talent there that you could pull that off with. Thanks, Theory. Andrew says you're, quote, not worried about attendance. Laughy emoji, laughy emoji. Yeah, I think they are. They should be. They better be. They better be, because attendance has been bad news for AEW. Bad news. All right, you guys, we're going to wrap it up there. I hope everybody has a wonderful election day and a safe election day. The point of this is to do it safely. The point of this is to, believe in our democracy and believe in our elections and vote accordingly and be safe while you do it. Good luck out there. Tomorrow, we'll be back. Once you Staley live here, 11 a.m. Eastern. Huge preview show. We'll preview the head-to-head battle, NXT versus AEW Dynamite. We'll talk the news of the day and so much more. So join me then. Make it a point. Like, put it in your calendar even, like our video here if you can. It helps us out greatly. We had some news yesterday drop that Dominic D'Angelo will be bringing back the Hot Tag show right here on the One True Sport YouTube channel. So if there's ever a time to subscribe, now's the time. You're not going to want to miss that show once it starts up. Cool. I'm Zack Heydorn. You can check out more of my work at Sports Illustrated and at Brass Ring Media. Brass Ring Media, we have our YouTube channel, which is kind of our hub for all of our products and all of our shows. Check us out there. Subscribe. You can also pick up all of our shows as audio podcasts. So they're totally free to do that. So check those out right now. I think wherever you get your podcasts, you can subscribe to Brass Ring Media. Just search Brass Ring Media and we will pop up. We do have a membership platform on Patreon that gets you bonus podcasts every single week. Check that out. It's only $4 a month and you get everything, including our pay-per-view and PLE review shows. Crown Jewel just went up. So you're going to want to check that out. So give us a shot. Patreon.com/Brass Ring Media. It's only $4 and you can try us out for free if you want to see if you like it or not. So once again, that's patreon.com/Brass Ring Media. Cool. I'm Zack Heydorn. Have a great Tuesday, you guys. And we will talk to you tomorrow right here on 1TS Daily on One True Sport. See you.